I guess we're live again. Look at that.
Are we?
We are live.
Live but unlisted.
Live but unlisted.
Figure
Welcome
that one
again.
out.
It's the Aftershow, where we are going to do a quiz based upon the games reviewed in the March 1996 issue of Die Hard Game Fan magazine.
Oh.
Are you ready?
March
1996.
March 96.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So get those wheels a turning.
Not looking forward to this, but let's see what happens.
Yeah, we'll have Greg first, and then Phil, he'll go second.
Okie dokie.
All right. Greg,
I'm here.
this one is for Saturn. The Sega Saturn.
Oh, geez. Okay, good.
Yeah, just to be clear. The Saturn version of blank is the best blank yet, but it isn't enough. Blank graphics have been given a subtle boost with additional scrolls in the background, increased color, and more animation. But the programmers could have taken the graphics much further. The control and gameplay is classic blank, in other words, beautiful. They also stepped up the difficulty a tad, so only true gamers need apply here. Overall, the game is fab, but again, I wish the programmers had pushed the Saturn's graphic envelope a bit further with blank.
Jesus.
That tells us nothing.
Oh, God.
It has good graphics, but they could have been better.
Considering the Saturn's power, they could have been better.
I think I guessed this last time. I'm going to try again. Earthworm Jim 2.
This time you're right, though.
Great.
Look at that.
You are correct. It's Earthworm Jim 2.
Wow.
I loved this magazine.
Me too. Me
I
too.
hate it
loved
more and more every time we do one of these.
I loved this magazine.
Well, so did I.
Anytime I got it in the mail, I would
Oh,
rush
yeah.
to read
Yeah.
cover to cover.
Yeah, we went
Yep.
to the newsstand every month to pick it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
All right, Phil.
Okay.
This one is for the PlayStation 1.
Okay.
Is it me, or is this game overrated? I feel none
Probably
of the...
you.
I mean, you're the one reviewing it. You tell me.
You're the one who's about to give it a 98.
Not quite. Is it me, or is this game overrated? I feel none of the elation my associate does when playing blank. And yes, just associate. There's like two other reviewers, but he just says associate singular.
Okay.
Indeed.
The same guy wrote one of the other reviews.
Yeah. Exactly. Indeed, the music is novel, and admittedly, zooming about laying waste to level after level is pretty much... Oh, wait, hold on. Take two. Indeed, the music is novel, and admittedly, zooming about laying waste to level after level of pretty much the same thing can be somewhat gratifying, but blank is just too repetitious. Once the novelty wears off, you're left with a visually tiresome, clumsy shooter. If anything, the two-player mode is the only reason I'd ever go back more than once.
Huh. Boy. I have no idea. Twisted Metal.
That's what came to mind.
Yeah. No.
No.
I have another guess, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Warhawk. Ah.
No.
I think we already did Warhawk.
I don't remember. It's all a blur.
Yeah.
The answer is Return Fire.
What?
Oh, no.
What?
This got a 70.
What? Wow,
That's
that
like
is
0 on Game Fans.
Yeah.
This is a
really?
low score for Game Fan from Skid, who is a Halverson.
yeah, that's
pseudonym.
who you don't know
Yeah,
who,
who wrote
did
the other? You don't know.
I don't know.
East
So
was
Skid-
E-Storm one of them?
I bet it was E Storm.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Really?
Oh, really?
No, I don't think so.
I
No.
guess you know what, the music, because he mentions the music is kind of a novelty,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, that should have been the
that's a good
clue.
hint.
That should have been the clue.
Maybe.
Because that game used it was all classical music.
Right.
Yeah, and it was really well used too. Oh man, Return Fires.
Was it
Good.
Flight of the Valkyries when you had the helicopters? Took over the helicopters? I think they were?
Yeah.
That's the one I always remember.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
And then when you got
That's
into
great.
the Jeep, it was the
Flight of the Bumblebee,
Flight of
wasn't
the
it?
Bumblebee. Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're very small and fast.
No, that was a great game.
Yeah,
It is a good game.
I can see why Halverson wasn't
Didn't
into
like
it though. There were no
Well, you couldn't import it.
no
you couldn't
anime
sell any.
movies. Yeah,
Couldn't sell any Japanese versions.
exactly. Yeah.
All right.
There was a sexy dame in a skimpy bikini
Not enough scrolls.
riding in
Not
there.
enough scrolls. That's what it is. See,
Not
Yeah,
enough
Earthworm Jim
scrolls.
2 had all the scrolls.
It did.
So
Yeah. All right, Greg, you're up. You're in the lead, 1-0.
yep.
In fact,
I knew that.
Yeah.
All right, this one's for the Saturn,
The Sega
Trust-
Saturn.
the
This
Sega
time.
Saturn.
Yeah.
Trust no one but me. Saturn blank.
Why you only have like 80 words?
You
for
have
your
80
review?
words. That's right.
Why are
And
you
there are only 3 reviewers.
why are you spending this online? I'm the only one of these guys you can trust. Okay.
This
Go
issue,
ahead.
I didn't put it in here, but there's a review that does that thing where it's like a third, if any, if that even of the box is taken up by text.
Yeah.
It's like why
And they used
even-
to change. They used to change the font size and the lettering
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything
They used to
to make
yeah,
things
they
fit.
didn't
So
in this one for
Oh,
some
man.
reason. But anyway,
Okay.
all right. So this one's for Saturn. Trust no one but me. Saturn blank is missing many frames, at least half of the arcade. It still plays the same, but who cares? It played lamely in the arcade, and all it had going for it was trademark blank visual force. If you're a manic blank fan, you'll be disappointed, but if you haven't played the arcade game, you'll probably love it. CD systems just weren't meant for this game, I guess.
I have 2 guesses. I think I'm going to go with X-Men: Children of the Atom.
Ooh.
It is X-Men Children
Good.
of Adam.
Because that
Good
game
guess.
was awesome, but yes, it was missing a lot of frames of animation.
Yeah.
Wow. Got it.
Yeah.
Well, Phil,
Man,
scoreless.
I am having trouble this week.
Apparently,
I think
so.
I have a feeling Greg's taking this, but let's see what we have.
Yeah,
Maybe.
still 3 questions to go.
It's true.
Yeah. All right, this one's for PlayStation.
Okay.
Blank is a very cool game. What seems like a basic platformer at first has
Crazy Ivan.
Earthworm Jim 2.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Blank is a very cool game.
Cool game.
What seems like a basic platformer at first has much bigger aspirations, as you'll find some pretty deep gameplay here. Add to that excellent rendered graphics and some inspired tunes, and you've got yourself ... surprise! A 2D platformer on a next-gen system worth owning. I
I
still need more.
think I have an idea what this is.
Oh man.
I hope I'm right anyway.
Oh man. I'm trying to think. What were some early 2D platformers? Ugh. Why am I blanking?
I don't know.
This is probably wrong, but I'm just going to guess Johnny Bazooka 10.
That's what I want to guess.
Because it is. I knew it.
And you're right.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I
Yeah,
was so
that-
hoping you was. I was sitting here almost chewing my nails. I'm like, oh, it's Johnny Bazooka song. It's got to be Johnny.
Gotta
Bazooka.
be,
They
it's
love
gotta be.
that game
Because he mentioned the music
and the
Yes.
pre-rendered graphics.
and the pre-rendered graphics. Yeah, because it was all like rockabilly music or something,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. That's all it had going for it.
Oh, absolutely. It was not a good game.
No,
No, it was not.
damn. I was hoping you were going to get that.
Oh boy.
Alrighty.
Yeah. I'd forgotten that was that early.
Yeah, it was a jewel case game. It was a Saturn
yeah.
Saturn
that's
style
right.
jewel case game.
I'd completely forgotten
Mhm.
about that, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
This one's for PlayStation 1.
Is this final round?
Oh,
This is the final round. This is
Final
it
round. 2-1.
for all the marbles. I do have a tiebreaker in case.
Okay.
All right. Most PlayStation games I played recently haven't had any lasting power. Refreshingly, blank has enough substance beneath the sheen to provide days and not just hours of PlayStation enjoyment. Besides the crazy lighting effects and awesome techno soundtrack, blank has huge levels, addicting gameplay, and challenge galore. The 100% 3D-ness of this game and the unusual controls that harness it take a while to get accustomed to, but once you get used to it, a fun time is yours for the taking.
This fully 3D-ness.
100% 3D-ness.
Techno soundtrack.
Yeah. Lighting effects.
Lighting effects. Like when you said lighting effects, I want to say loaded.
Yeah, but we already did load it.
But I think we've already done loaded.
Yeah. What did they mention a genre in there? No.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
But the 100% 3D-ness is throwing me off.
Yeah.
And having weird controls to go with it.
Huh.
No, never mind. Shoot. I'm going to say loaded. I think it's wrong. Yeah. I can't think of anything else that would fit that.
Do it. Read it again for me, CJ.
Most PlayStation games I played recently haven't had any lasting power. Refreshingly, blank has enough substance between the sheen? No, beneath the sheen.
Between the sheets.
Beneath the sheen to provide days.
No lasting power, but enough substance between the sheets.
But how many
All right,
scrolls?
I'll start that again.
Yeah.
Refreshingly,
You don't wanna
blank has enough substance beneath the sheet. I keep wanting to say between the sheets. Beneath the sheen to provide days. Not just hours.
Not just
Of
hours.
PlayStation enjoyment.
Days between the sheets.
That sounds
Days.
exhausting.
Yes.
Hours sounds exhausting.
If over 4 days, please
Who's
consult
got
a
that kind of time?
physician.
Yeah.
Besides the crazy lighting effects, an
Uh-huh.
awesome techno soundtrack, blank has huge levels,
Huge
addicting
levels.
gameplay, and challenge galore. The 100% 3D-ness of this game and the unusual controls that harness it take a while to get accustomed to, but once you get used to it, a fun time is yours for the taking.
I have another guess.
I think Greg has figured it out.
Yeah.
Oh man, huge levels.
Between the sheets.
The techno soundtrack. Huge levels.
No staying power between the sheets.
No staying power.
But huge
No.
levels.
No.
Huge. It's girthy.
Jeez, I don't know. I'm just gonna say Twisted Metal again. It's not right. No.
Can I?
Yeah, what do you think
Murphy's
it is?
Law? Warhawk. Okay.
No.
No, I think I'm pretty
I
sure
don't remember Warhawk
we
at
had
all. I never
Warhawk.
played it.
I think we had Warhawk in an earlier quiz.
We did, yeah.
I loved Warhawk, by
A
the
lot
way.
of people loved Warhawk. I
Yeah,
never
it
played
was
but-
great. What is it?
It's Descent.
Oh,
It is Descent.
Yeah, I forgot about this.
Forgot that came out on PlayStation
Yeah.
because I played it on computer, so
Yeah.
Mm.
I had no reason to play it on.
No, I remember I did play it on PlayStation. The lighting
Oh,
was
did you?
crazy.
Yeah,
Mm.
I
and
also
it
remember
was.
that calendar they gave out at E3.
Oh, really? I don't remember that.
Oh, it was just one model, but in very it was a nice
Beneath the
calendar.
sheets.
It was a nice calendar.
Between the sheets.
Had lots of staying power.
Yeah,
It's called Beneath the Sheen.
Was
Beneath
it
the
full,
sheen.
full 3D-ness.
Lit really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Who's next? Phil.
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 Me. It's me. This is the final
This is
question,
the
right?
Tiebreaker. This is it.
Well, this is
Tiebreaker. I'm leading.
Sorry, you're
Yeah.
right. Greg's
This is-
leading.
This is me
Greg's leading. He's
attempting
over
to
there.
tie it up.
Yeah,
I'm trying to tie things up.
Need to
Me.
get this right.
Me,
Between the sheets.
baby. not him.
Not him. No.
Me.
Yeah.
Not him. Oh wait, hold on here. I'm gonna just kind of go.
Whoop.
There we go. Give Greg a little tickle
There you go.
from the inside.
This one's for PlayStation 1.
Yes.
I can easily say blank is one of the best video game playing experiences of my life.
Ah,
Wow.
This is Crazy Ivan.
It's like blank took everything I loved about blank. Camera angles, horror undertones, item/puzzle gameplay, and supercharged it with outstanding graphics, a super deep storyline, and tons of carnage. I couldn't stop playing once the storyline grabbed me. That took about 1 minute. And 6 hours into the game, my excitement hasn't even began to fade. Yes, it says began to fade.
Okay.
Wait, so are they admitting they didn't finish the game?
Yeah.
Exactly.
like-
They wrote
sounds
the
like-
review after 6
We're
hours.
6 hours into this game.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Because
That's
that's
how
something that game fan editors would blast us for if we admitted that.
Right.
Just
Yeah,
saying.
Well, even today, a lot of people think that you should finish the game.
Yeah, that's
before-
ridiculous.
It's just not going to happen. But
is it Resident Evil?
Sounds like Resident Evil. Yeah.
Hey,
Resident Evil.
it's Resident Evil.
That was a review from Mr. Goo,
Mr. Goo.
who gave it a 97.
Mr. Not good enough to finish the game before reviewing it, apparently.
Apparently. Oh,
Okay.
all right.
Well, we're tied
So
up.
we have a tiebreaker.
We actually need
I told
a
you.
tiebreaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Phil, this will go to you first.
Why?
I don't know why.
Normally goes to
Making it
what?
up.
That's
Went to you first last time.
bullshit.
All right.
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
it's for Saturn.
Oh, boy. Oh, jeez.
Why did I rate the Saturn blank lower than the PlayStation version? 3 essential aspects.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
I think I already know what this is.
yeah.
The super shadows are snapped.
Know exactly what it is.
Haunting
Ah.
is
I
extremely
hate you.
difficult.
This is why you gave it to Phil first.
And the samples are tinny and far away sounding.
Uh-huh.
The Saturn version loads faster than the PlayStation,
Yeah.
but the purist like myself must have arcade exactness.
Oh, boy.
Still, it plays the same, if not better, with a Saturn pad, and well, it's blank.
Is this Nick Rocks? This is a Nick Rocks review? Are these shadows blue?
Not the right shade of blue.
Yeah. Well, it's Street Fighter Alpha, right?
That is
it
correct.
is.
I'm just gonna say if
Yeah.
we were able to call out our answer, I would have gotten it first.
I don't know about that
Nah,
because it was
you didn't. The light bulb didn't go off till you heard the
No.
word shadow.
now.
Yeah,
The super shadows
I
are
mean,
snapped.
If I were to take an immediate guess though, comparing Saturn to PlayStation, it would have been Alpha. I mean, let's
yeah.
not kid
this is some
ourselves.
bullshit.
Hey, you got it first last week. the
Because
old
I was first
tiebreaker.
in line.
Yeah,
It
well,
was the
you know.
order.
Yeah, but I mean, we went order
Can
of
we
handsomeness.
agree that we all lost
No, I
Yes.
won.
because we had to listen to game fan reviews?
No, I won.
Game fan
feel like
reviews are great. What are you talking about?
Oh,
These are great.
The Blue Shadows. For people who don't know about this,
Uh-huh.
there was a minor controversy that existed solely within the pages of Die Hard Game Fan magazine back in
Yes.
the day,
Yeah.
where they were really, really hating on the Saturn version of Street Fighter Alpha because despite it being fantastic, and what was it the when you did like a super move?
yeah. You
The-
had blue shadows that would appear behind you,
Right.
behind your character.
Yes, and
I
they
think we
were
still do.
yeah, I think they were just like slightly different shade wrong, or like maybe the
Something like
arcade
that.
version, like the PlayStation version, they were like transparencies or something, and
Yeah.
the Saturn version was not
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was such
It was ridiculous.
But it was, yeah.
it was.
There were a number of things over the time that Game Fan was around where Nick Rocks was a huge stickler for the number of scrolls or the shadows or like there were a bunch of things.
Well,
like the Working Designs Lunar translation or Lunar 2 translation that they ended up having a big public spat with Victor Ireland, who also loved to throw public tantrums.
Yeah.
Yes.
Between him and Dave.
True. Yeah.
That's true.
It was weird, and it went on for months.
Yeah.
Like an issue wouldn't go by without some sort of complaint about the blue shadows, and the Saturn version sucks because the blue shadows. The Saturn version was great. I mean, come on, don't be foolish.
It was supremely playable.
I think we should do this tweet from Mr. Nelson in the after show because it kind of pertains to after show stuff, and he asks. Dave Halverson comes up a lot in the after show quizzes. Could you tell us more about him and why he had such a hatred for EGM?
You could.
I've never met Dave Halverson. So I
don't think Dave actually went to any junkets.
He went. Yeah, I met him at E3 a few times.
I stood next to him
guy,
at E3. I didn't actually meet him or anything.
Yeah.
But from what I can gather, and this is stuff that's second and third hand,
right?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't at EGM at the time when Dave was running ads in the magazine. But Die Hard's ads in EGM and their import coverage, even though really it was just screenshots of games,
right?
Began to outclass what EGM was doing.
That's absolutely true. I remember reading EGM and looking for the Die Hard ad because it
me
would
too.
have screenshots and list games that EGM had not
that EGM
about.
didn't cover. Yeah. And I don't think they took that well at all.
Mm-hmm.
And after they started doing their own catalog and sending it to people whose names they had gotten from the EGM reader service cards.
Oh, yeah.
There was some kind of falling out. Now, Halverson was one of the information sources that Steve Harris went to for Quarterman. And I think Dave may have even written Quarterman at one time. But a lot of that stuff was coming out of, Southern California. Dave Halverson, I'm sure, people who worked in gaming stopped by that store.
Right.
For multiple locations. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He was in the know, right?
Yeah.
But I think it was that EGM refused to run his ads at a certain point, and then he had to start his own magazine. Yeah. So I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
All I know is that, and I think I don't know if I mentioned this on the show before, but I know I mentioned it to you guys in our chat, was that as part of the sort of ongoing research that I do for Generation 16, I have sort of a collection of mostly digital versions of old magazines, old game magazines that I sift through, and generally we'll read the headlines and record sort of what the headlines are about, what games were reviewed, what score they got, what games were covered, and what ads appeared. Just because that way I've built a database so that, when I cover something, I can say, this ad was in this issue of Game Fan.
Yeah.
So I can go get a copy of it if I need it. But I always make sure to read thoroughly sort of the rumors section each time, because it's not only is it useful from standpoint of research, but it's kind of fascinating to, with 25, 30 years of hindsight to see what came true or what they might be referencing that what it became. And by issue 3 of Game Fan, their rumors section, I forget what it's called next.
Other stuff.
Their rumor section was shitting on EGM
Really?
pretty openly. Oh yeah,
really?
By issue 3.
Wow.
And actually, I think even before that, they were already going with. I mean, to be fair, they were doing we're the scrappy upstarts. They were playing to that, especially because they had no ads at the beginning, and of course they used that to be the other guys are all ads and we're not, which I get. because you're trying to seem legit.
Right.
We're
But,
in
yeah,
debt, whereas
they
the other
were
are making money.
They were quickly switching to like, well, you might have read this in other mags, but let us tell you the truth. And it's like, oh, Jesus.
Totally, yeah.
But
Right.
yeah, with it by issue 3, they were doing it.
Yeah. Well, and then
Yeah.
I mean, they went so far as to in their comic, they had their Monitor
Yeah.
comic where they introduced the villain ran BGM,
Yeah. Something stupid
right?
like
It was
that.
like Blowmeister Games, I want to
Blowmeister
say.
That's
Games.
right.
Yeah. It was
Wow.
the evil Blowmeister Games had
Yeah.
their magazine, which was BGM.
Yeah.
And they were the villains that Monitor had to stop and
Save everyone from.
Yeah, we're telling the truth over here at Game Fan. Yeah, it was really weird and
But that kind of marketing kind of worked at the time.
well, yeah, of
Like,
course.
I mean, it was also the era of Sega and Nintendo calling each
Yeah.
other out in their ads.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Sony.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And
So
I wasn't getting any import game coverage anywhere else. Like
yeah.
Game Fan really did have the best stuff.
Oh yeah.
And
It was the place to go to for that.
the
other
best
thing-
screenshots too.
the other piece of it was the screenshots. Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Oh
had
yeah, they're beautiful.
some way to grab them in RGB or whatever, and they looked beautiful.
Yep.
And EGM was actively jealous of
I remember
Game
Yeah.
Fan's screenshot
Yeah.
quality.
I
Yeah.
remember like CJ's best friend Mike's best friend Jim was actually over the other night, and we were talking about Game Fan because he and I used to go to the newsstand together to get it, or if one of us got it, like Jim worked at the local game store, and I was one of the kids that would go hang out, and like if one of us had it, we would show each other the issue and talk about it. And I remember things like when Game Fan, their first coverage of Street Fighter 2 for the Genesis,
Yeah.
they had tons of pictures, and we must have spent hours poring over every single screenshot because we were comparing it to like, what's the letterboxing like, and what's this like, and what's that, and the best thing was, of course, is that was actually a pre-release version, so it actually didn't look that way when it came out.
Right.
But we did that multiple times because their screenshots were so good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
that
Beautiful.
you
They were
could
the
do
best.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're the best. And EGM had no idea how Game Fan was doing that.
Right. Yeah.
In fact, EGM hired Kelly Ricards
Yes.
off of Game Fan in part. I think I've said this on the show. In part to get the secret sauce.
Yeah.
Of how the screenshots were so good.
He was Kay Lee
Kay Lee in
on
Fan.
Game Fan, yeah. And then he
Yeah.
came over to EGM.
He did, and then he didn't know.
I didn't know that part.
I feel like that would have
You
come up
didn't-
in the interview.
He didn't
Yeah.
know how Game like basically like he was of no help
Oh,
in terms
man.
of getting the screenshot quality to be
Oh,
better, which is
no.
hilarious.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That was the secret reason Ed hired him.
Yeah. Oops.
Oh, man. Whoops.
Yeah.
I'm gonna point this out too, because we were talking about Nick Rocks and his Blue Shadow thing. I met Nick Rocks years later.
Yeah.
Apparently a very nice guy.
And
I've
he,
heard that as well.
he was. I met him at I was in Japan for Tokyo Game Show,
Mhm.
and I want to say Ronnie was the one who set this up.
Oh, yeah.
The wonderful and late Ronnie Yu.
Mhm.
She had organized a trip to Bandai's headquarters
Okay.
they were showing some game or something there, and we were in the car driving over there, and I think it was me and it was Ronnie, and there was this other guy in the car, and she's introducing us. She's like, "Oh, Phil, this is Nick
DeBarnes.
DeBarn.
The bar.
DeBar.
DeBar.
Yeah, Nick DeBar, which is Nick Rocks' real name." And
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh crap, you're Nick Rocks!" Like I actually just blurted that out because I'd not met the guy before. And as soon as I said that, his face sunk.
Oh,
You know,
man.
this was
Oh, man.
probably what
Mm.
2006, 7 or something.
So
like that,
over a decade removed.
Well after the Die Hard game fan days. And yeah, as soon as I said, "Oh my gosh, you're Nick Rocks," yeah, he like his face just sank. He was just like, "Oh," like I could hear the internal monologue of, "Here comes the blue shadows. I'm gonna hear about this crap now." And I was like, "Oh man, I loved Game Fan. It was one of my favorite magazines back in the day. I read every issue." And he, as soon as he realized that I wasn't gonna be an ass to him about, because I mean, he was.
Can you imagine what he must have taken?
I can only imagine.
Abuse he must have taken.
Well, and I mean, at that time he was what, 16?
Something like that. Yeah,
he was a kid. He was like, and when he was doing all that Blue Shadow crap, he was like a still in high school, for crying out loud. So of course he's going to be an obnoxious twerp, because who wasn't at that age?
All right.
So, but yeah,
some still are.
Now that's no way to talk about CJ, Greg. He's right.
He's
right here.
Right here.
So, but yeah, as soon as he found out I was not going to be a jerk to him about it, he was like, "Oh, and he was super nice, and we chatted the whole trip and everything."
That's cool.
And really, really nice guy. He almost played Anakin Skywalker in the prequels.
I heard that.
Yeah, he was like right at the I don't know, second callback or something, whatever the Hollywood term is for. But he was pretty close to playing him instead of Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, and I will say, I mean, while we love to make fun of Game Fan during these quizzes, and of course it was bad. EGM was bad at the time too. Like,
well, that's kind of the point of these.
We are looking back at this content, pointing out how bad it was for the time, and how far we've come. But of course, I subscribed to EGM, to GamePro, to VG&CE, to Game Fan. Like, I bought all these magazines and loved all these magazines, and also like followed the people and the personalities that were in these magazines like very closely.
Well, and we've done multiples of these quizzes with EGM, with old EGM.
Oh yeah, and they're almost as bad.
Look, you threw the almost in there. No, this
almost as bad.
Just another karate game.
Okay, yeah, they were.
They were as bad. They were just as bad.
Yeah.
Oh man!
But I read these reviews. I read them all because I trusted their opinion. I read every freaking page, cover to cover of Game Fan. Just loved it.
The fun of it, though, is that because they were all terrible. But going back and reading my early stuff,
my god, I can't do that.
Oh, it turns my stomach.
Same here.
It's embarrassing. It is embarrassing reading your stuff from that you wrote in 1998.
Yeah,
about whatever game was coming out at the time. But the fun part is it's like, yes, the old EGM reviews were terrible. The old Game Fan reviews are terrible. I'm sure GamePro's stuff was terrible too.
Yeah,
but it's fun how differently they're bad. Like a terrible EGM review is very different from a terrible Game Fan review, because they all had their quirks and personalities that came. EGM wasn't talking about the scrolls and stuff like that. And Die Hard Game Fan wasn't getting details incorrect like EGM would. Calling a game the wrong genre or something like that. EGM would do EGM will say, "Oh yeah, this amazing shooter came out," and it's like Mega Man 4.
Right.
And no, you're shooting that game, right? It's a shooter. So,
well, that was also from Ed Semrad and Steve Harris were from the era where you would call that a shooter.
A shooter.
Yeah.
So it was a little different.
Yeah. There you go.
Corridor shooter, Doom clone.
Well, Doom, it was all Doom clones back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I think that's it for the after show. Thank you very much, guys, for participating in this, and congratulations. to Phil. Phil
Yes,
won?
I am
Yes,
the
Phil
winner.
won.
I am the winner.
Phil is the champion.
I am the best.
And thank you, patrons, for backing the show. You make this after show possible. So thank you very much. And if you have an idea for a game you want to see us play on the after show, you can send that in. Currently, the tank is dry. We're not even running on fumes. We got nothing. But I can continue torturing these other two with review quizzes, or if you send in a quiz, we'll play something else on the after show. It's all up to you, listeners. You can email that to player1podcast@gmail.com. Email us your quiz ideas. If you have a Jeopardy quiz, you can construct it at jeopardylabs.com. Send me the URL, and we'll play it. It's easy.
Yeah.
Easy as pie. And anyway, that's it. That's our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening, and we hope that you're staying safe, that all your family, friends, loved ones are all safe, and continue to wear a mask, please. And we will talk at you again next week.